Okay, in this video, I want to talk about chromosome number, diploid number, autosomes, and haploid number. Okay, so if you remember from my previous video, chromosomes are basically made of DNA, right? So they're found in the nucleus of every cell, except for the gametes, the sex cells and red blood cells, okay? So they're just things made of DNA, okay? They're thread-like structures made of DNA. Okay, so what's chromosome number? It's basically the number of chromosomes. So number of chromosomes for a given species, okay? It depends on what species you're talking about. So if you remember, I talked about humans. So humans have 46. That was the magic number, you should know. Donkeys have 62 and chimps have 48, right? So example, humans have 46. Donkeys have 62 and chimps have 48. Okay, that's chromosome number. It's basically the number of chromosomes in a species. Now, okay, so 46, remember 46 chromosomes in a human. Right, there are 46 of them, okay? Half of which, so half, 50% from your dad, and the other 50% from your mum, okay? And you obviously know this in terms of reproduction, so half your chromosomes from your dad, half chromosomes from your mum, and you get you. Okay, so you get 100% from both. Okay, 50-50. Now, the number of chromosomes in a body cell is typically known as the diploid number. Okay, that's a word you should know. So the number of chromosomes in body cells known as diploid number. Okay, diploid number. Okay, it's basically equal to 2n. Okay, where n, so well, 2 because there are two sets. Okay, two sets of chromosomes. As was in this case, right? So 2 times n, so let's say n here from your dad, n from mum, n plus n, or 2 times n, right, is 2n, right? That's why it's 2n, that's a diploid number. Now, in your gametes, right, the sex cells, so in your gametes, right, has to be half diploid number of chromosomes. Now, why is this the case? Okay, let me explain. By halving the number of chromosomes in a gamete, the number of chromosomes from generation to generation keep constant, okay, at 2n. They should be 2n. So someone should always have 2n chromosomes. Otherwise, if each parent gave their complete set of genetic information, the offspring would have then 4n chromosomes, then the next generation would have 8n, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let me draw this so it makes sense. Okay, so actually, let me write it down. By halving number of chromosomes from generation to generation. By halving number of chromosomes in gametes, from generation to generation, you get constant 2n number. Okay, so this 2n has to be the same. Okay, so let's say hypothetically, if each parent could give 2n, right, the offspring would have 4n, right? And the next generation would have 8n, right, and so on and so forth. It keeps doubling. That's not what you want, okay? That's not what's actually happening in reality. What happens in reality is that half from the dad and the mum goes to the kid. Okay, now, of the 46, so remember 46 chromosomes in humans, so of the 46 chromosomes in each cell, okay, so if I was to draw a cell, here's the nucleus, there are 46 X's, dot, 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 okay, 46 of these X's. Two of the 46, so if you do the maths, it's 44, aren't sex chromosomes. 2 of them are sex chromosomes. Okay, only 2. The rest, the 44, are not sex chromosomes. Okay, and they determine whether you're male or female. Right. So for females, sure you already know this. 2 X's, 2 X chromosomes is what makes you a female. For males, 1 X, 1 Y. Okay, so it's not 2 YY. Why is it not 2 YY? Because it makes sense when you think of it, right? Dad, mum, dad's got XY, mum's got XX. If it was to be a boy, it'd have to be XY. Okay, 1 from the mum, 1 from the dad. Okay, it wouldn't be YY because the mum doesn't have a Y, right? She's only got 2 X's. Okay. Now, the remaining, should also stress the remaining, stress this point, 44 chromosomes are known as autosomes. Autosomes. Okay, think automatic. Okay, autosomes, automatic, they're all the same. Okay. And basically, these autosomes are grouped into 22 pairs. Okay, well, it makes sense because 44 divided by 2 is 22, right? So if you were to divide the 44 into 2, you get 22 pairs. Think of them as shoes, right? Think of them as shoes that look like this or like that. That's how they usually are, and I'll show you pictures later on of chromosomes. Now, the chromosomes, so each of these chromosomes in a pair, chromosomes in pair, they've got a name. They're called homologous. Homo, right? I think it's Latin from memory. Homo means the same. Okay, it's a prefix that means the same. Okay, they've got the same length basically. So why are they the same? Okay, they've got the same length. They've got the same. They join also at the same point, same position, called a centimeter. Okay, you don't need to know what that means. Maybe later on I'll talk about that. But that's what autosomes are. They're basically the remaining 44 chromosomes. And homologous means that the chromosomes are the same. Okay, when they're in pairs, so it makes sense, right? Shoes. To have 2 pairs of shoes, to have a pair of shoes, right? They've both got to be the same type of shoe. You're not going to be wearing a high heel and a Nike, right? That's that. Okay, it's also worth mentioning that 1 chromosome from each pair must end up in each gamete produced. Okay, that's pretty much self-explanatory. That's what I mentioned before, right? So if you have a dad XY, mum XX, 1 of these pairs has to end up in the sex cell produced, okay, and that's the baby, the offspring. Okay, so therefore, what does that mean? Therefore, gametes have 23 chromosomes in total. Okay, why is it 23? Because 46, remember, 46 chromosomes for a human being, right? So a dad has, say, this much, and a mum has that much. Dad and mum have 46. Each, okay, half, remember, it's half of what they have, half the chromosomes from the dad and the mum. So 46 divided by 2 is 23, right? That's what the offspring has, 23 chromosomes. Okay. This 23, right, is called, it's got a special name. It's known as the haploid number. Haploid number. Okay, usually denoted by a capital N. All right, you see why it's useful later. So remember, as I mentioned before, the diploid number has 2N. Okay, di means 2, right? So the prefix di. Okay, like dipole, for example. Dipole means a magnet with 2 heads. Di means 2. Okay, so that's why you have 2N. Haploid is just 1N. Okay. And the way to remember, okay, a stupid way to remember it would be just it happened, right? Mom and dad reproduced, it somehow happened to give an N. Okay, so the two N's divide up. So okay, so each of them. So basically, an N from the dad and from mum. Okay, give you 2N, right? Remember, half. It's only half from the dad and from the mum. They give you 23. That determines your gender. Okay. So what this basically means for so the female sex chromosomes. Remember, XX are a homologous pair. They're a homologous pair. Why are they a homologous pair? Remember, because they're the same, right? The two X's are the same. Male sex chromosomes aren't homologous. Chromosomes are not homologous. Okay, because it's XY. X and Y are different things, right? So that's why. Now, one thing I should also talk about is fertilization, just really briefly, just to make sure that you know what it is, okay? So recap on fertilization. Okay, it's basically, by definition, the fusion of nucleus of male and female gametes. Okay, so male sperm plus the female gamete. So the male gamete is the sperm, right? Female gamete is the egg. Gives baby, offspring. Okay, and when the egg and sperm unite, you basically, so the baby is called a zygote. Okay, that's the first stage of child development. Okay, it's called a zygote. Okay, when an egg and sperm unite. Right. So let me just draw a diagram to break it down. So I talked about diploid and haploid number. Let me just draw some diagrams to make it a bit simple for you to understand. So male, female, right, the mum and dad, each have got 2N, right? But we know that they don't contribute all of the 2N to the offspring. It's only one of the N's, right? So these 2N's give a 2N. Okay, that's a zygote, and this is fertilization. So when they join, you get fertilization. Okay, this 2N basically has the same number of chromosomes also as the mum and the dad, okay, as it should be. So to summarize, I talked about chromosome number, which is basically the number of chromosomes for a given species. So humans have 46, donkeys have 48, oh sorry, 62 from memory. Yes, 62. But that, chimps have got 48, right? I then talked about diploid number, okay, which is basically the number of chromosomes in body cells, okay? So it's 2N for a human. I then talked about what homologous means. It basically means the same. The chromosomes are the same. So for girls, girls have got homologous pairs of chromosomes. Boys don't. I talked about autosomes, okay, the remaining 44 chromosomes. So 2 of the 46 chromosomes in a human being are sex chromosomes. The rest aren't. They're called autosomes. And I talked about haploid number, right? Which is basically when gametes have 23 chromosomes in total. That's haploid number. And I talked about fertilization, right? So the mum and dad contribute only half of their chromosomes to give 2N chromosomes in total for the baby.